Hello everybody and welcome to the Art Journaling YouTube hop. Last time was super fun, and when Karen decided to do another one, I could not say no. So be sure to check out all of the wonderful sponsors for the hop. All of them will be listed down below, as well as all of the participants and also all of the products that I will be using in this video. So just be sure to read the description box, and if you're having trouble reading it, head on over to my website where I will have a coordinating blog post. So I'm starting off by using a mixed media book from Prima, and this is probably one of my favorite things to art journal in. It is really thick paper, and I love that I can take the pages out if I want to. It's just my go-to art journal. So I am taking some washi tape, but I first actually put a layer of clear gesso. Sorry, I have been sick, and I'm just trying to get this voiceover done for the YouTube hop. So if I miss something, I apologize. I will try my best. But this washi tape is from Prima, and I love it. It's really pretty. It is like gray, black, white tones, and I just wanted it in the, like the background of all of the other colors and different things that I'm going to put on the page. And this tape isn't really sticky like at all. I was actually really surprised. So I had to continue to add layers of gesso, which the gesso acts as a glue. So that's why I'm adding the gesso. You can use 3D matte gel or something, or regular glue, a glue stick, any type of glue, just to make sure that they are adhered down. And I just randomly tear off pieces in different lengths, and then the wider ones I actually cut them, kind of like trim them in half of the width. Sorry, my mind is not working. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. And then I just kind of layer them on top of each other just to get some cool texture and interest for my page. And then now I'm adding some more gesso to make sure that they're all going to adhere nicely. And then I will add more washi tape on top of that. Sorry for the air conditioning. It is I think it was probably about 110 today here in Nevada, so very hot. And before, when I did voiceovers, I would always turn off the air and my family would complain, so I can't do that anymore. So it is what it is, and hopefully it's not too loud, and hopefully you guys can still hear me. Alright, so now I am taking some white gesso, and I am just adding it, and then I added a little bit of water to kind of wash it out a little bit. And now I'm taking a Finnabair stamp. This is called the Messy stamp, and I'm using some Stazon ink, and the Stazon ink is waterproof. Like when I add all of the sprays and color, it won't bleed, so it's really nice to use when you're doing art journaling or any type of project where you're going to be adding lots of different paints and sprays after you stamp. And now I'm adding a little bit more gesso just to tone down the stamping a little bit. And I did stamp off onto a piece of paper because I didn't want the stamping to be very stark black. I just wanted it kind of in the back. And now I'm taking some some Prima stamps. These are the stitch circles, and you cannot find these anywhere. But I recently came across a stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I have it right here. I ordered it because I loved it so much. It's definitely not the same, but you have like these wonky lines, and then it's called Loops of Love, and it is from Create a Smile. I have never heard of this stamp company before, but I'll have it listed down below so you could check it out. And also 49 and Market also makes one that is pretty similar to the Prima stamp set that I'm using. So there's a couple different options, just not the actual Prima ones. So and I did use Stazon ink to stamp those. And now I'm taking a Crafter's Workshop stencil and some of the light and fluffy paste, which is my new favorite. And after that dried, I put a paper towel underneath the page so that I can try to protect as much as I can the pages underneath. It honestly doesn't really matter to me that much if they are perfect when I go in to do another page. I think it adds a little bit more character to the pages when you have the excess paint and color from the previous page. So anyways, this is Lindy's Stamp Gang spray in Seashore Sand, I believe. And then now I'm going to add some alcohol inks, and this is Caramel, and I'm just adding it kind of randomly just where the texture is from the paste. And then I will add a little bit of water to kind of water it down. And then now I'm going in with Espresso, I believe. And that way I can have more depth to the project and to this page, because when you're doing art journaling, especially in a book, you don't really want to add too much bulk because it is a book, so you want to be able to close it. Although I did add some metal embellishments in the end, but I could still close it, but it's definitely going to have to be the only one that I add that much bulk to. So like you saw, I added a little bit of water, then I kind of dabbed my paper towel on and just kind of blended it out a little bit. And now I'm adding some Prima, it's like muslin material, and I just rip it into strips. I just wanted a little bit more texture. And then I'm adding some 3D matte gel to adhere that down so that it stays nice. And I kind of like the washi tape, how I did different lengths and different widths. So same concept, I'm just kind of adding it so that it has more texture. And then I will add a little bit of the 3D matte gel on top. I don't want to add too much, and then I add a little bit of gesso on top as well because the 3D matte gel will resist the spray. So I wanted to make sure that I added a little bit of gesso on top so that the sprays, when I added more spray, it had something to hold on to. So I am now taking some Crackle paste and I am adding it pretty thick to where the material is. And a lot of people ask me why I add so many different layers if I'm just covering it up, but it's hard to explain unless you do it yourself, because pictures and videos definitely do not show everything like you can see it in person. Sometimes when you add something on top of something else, it, like in photos, it seems like I basically, like you cover it up all the way and it's gone. Like, why would you do that? But in person, you can get different angles, and even if a little tiny bit of that stamping is showing up, peeking through all the other layers that you added, it's definitely worth it for me in the long run, because it just adds to the project. And so I just wanted to say that really quickly. So I'm going to be adding some more alcohol ink, and it is Caramel again. And then I'm going to go back in with some of the Espresso. And I share a lot of like sneak peeks and different things on Instagram. So if you have an Instagram, I would love for you to follow me. I recently did some Q&As on there on the Insta stories, and it was super fun to see what you guys are interested in knowing, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm taking some IOD water soluble oil pastels. I haven't used these in quite some time, and they are probably one of my favorite products. And I am taking the black so that I can add a lot more depth to the project and where the material is. And I apologize for my kids in the background. They are, I think, getting a little stir crazy. So, yeah, you can hear Abby running across the kitchen. All right, so I take a little bit of water and my finger and blend it out a little bit. And because these are water soluble, they react to water, so they're not like normal oil pastels. So you can use them like normal oil pastels, like do a really beautiful oil painting with them, or, you know, art piece. But I like to use them as a like a medium to add color to my projects, just like I am doing here. So again, I take the oil pastel, and then I'll take a little bit of water and my finger and just kind of blend it out a little bit. And I am showing this part because I figured that you would want to see how I guess correct a mistake. Well, it's not really a mistake, but in the end I decided that I didn't like the white. I wanted it to be a little bit toned down from all of the grunginess of the brown tones and the black. So I added the white circles with some paint and like a cap, and then I added some white splatters, and then after it dried I decided that I did not like it. I am going to show you how I'm going to cover it up. But honestly, watching it back, I actually really like the white on the brown tones. I think the only thing that I didn't really like as much is the white circles. So at this point I didn't decide yet that I didn't like it, so I'm going to add even more circles. These are just caps around from, I think the bigger one was from the washi tape container, and then this one is from my little stick it tool thing. And it didn't really matter that I was mucking it up with some gesso. So at this point I felt it needed a little bit more color, and then I think this is when I'm deciding that I don't really like the white circles. And this is, I'm adding a little bit of color. It's like a bluish gray tone with one of the oil pastels, and I don't add too much because I really do like the brown, but I just wanted a little bit of something, some other color on my project. So what I do is I take the paintbrush and I dip it in water, and then I brush it onto the oil pastel and get just a little bit of that color onto the brush, and then I paint it on where I want it, and then I use my finger to blend it out. So I'm continuing to do that. Oh, I don't dip it in, I actually spray the water onto the brush. And so you just see me doing that here, just around kind of the focal point, I guess. And I didn't show, but I did add the metal heart, and it's from Prima, and I add it with some heavy body gel just to make sure that it's going to stay really good on there. And at this point I knew that I wanted to add more color. I felt after I added all of the white, it toned down all of that brown that I really liked and that caramel color. So I'm going in and adding a little bit of water, and then going back in with the alcohol ink. And well, I guess at this point I still decided that I liked the white. I guess I probably should preview the video before I do the voiceover. I don't know, I just edit it and then I try to remember what I'm doing, and So that's why sometimes I kind of am at a loss for words because I don't know what's going to come next. So at this point, I guess I'm still adding white splatters. So I dry it and then I probably decide that I don't like it, maybe. Yes, so here I am going in with the Lindy spray. And again, I wanted to keep this in just to show you that, because everybody says that I make it look so easy, and with editing, anybody can make anything look easy. And honestly, I fiddle around and mess up and do stuff that I don't like so often in my projects. And honestly, a lot of times I just cut it all out. So I felt that when I add it in and then I show you guys how I changed it up and how I fixed whatever issue that I was having with the project, I think you guys appreciate it because you can see maybe a way that you can do the same thing instead of just trashing a project, you know. So I added some more of the alcohol ink and then just going back in and continuing to add just different layers, and then I'll take the paper towel and kind of blend it out. And you can see here that I use my finger. I'm not shy in getting my fingers inky. I actually really honestly love it. Oftentimes I'll take a photo of my hands in front of the project. I don't really post them often. I probably should on my Instagram because I think they're really cool. But if I get my hands really, really inky, I think it's just really cool to capture that. And in a day or two, depending on what medium it is, it washes off, so it's not a big deal. And now I'm going back in with some more Lindy spray in the what is that color? South Shore Sand. And then after that dries, I'm going in with some more stamping, and this is the same stamp that I used earlier, and I felt I wanted a little bit more texture in the background. And then I add a piece of wire and then my quote, which says, "Do what you love." And I add some of the Fabri-Tac just to hold that wire in place. And then I'll add the sticker quote right there. And that is going to complete my project. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please be sure to hop along to everyone and check out all of the wonderful sponsors, and make sure you thank Karen for putting this together. It is a lot of work to put hops together, so thank you so much, Karen, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.